Finally find Barney. Luckily, a pretty high zoom. The minute he's with Honey Bear on the right. Foster Mom Supreme. She's a very good mom. She's fostered quite a few of the members of this troop, and she's actually the oldest in the troop as well. Plenty of experience, so it's not uncommon for other females to look after the babies temporarily, do a bit of babysitting. It's called alamothering. Gives the mom a bit of a break and allows the rest of the troop to gain experience. This looks like Emmy, closer to us.
Because Fiona, even though she's got no arms, you can see she's managing in her own way to do a bit of grooming, and this is just how she's also completely part of the troop. And here we have the real life of the foundation at the moment. This little guy just never ceases to amaze us, and the mangoes are so full of fun. It is going to be so great eventually when we see the introduction and him finally becoming part of this troop. But he's really having fun, or they're all having fun at the moment, playing and messing around with each other.
Hello?
Look, this one branch is just in the way.
That's annoying.
He's using his arm a lot more.
Yeah?
And like, I saw him yesterday, he walked like a good few meters on the ground on all fours.
Oh, good.
Laters.
Barney doing really well in the troop. Seems to be liked by everybody. This is the alpha female that he's playing around with, and she seems to like him a bit, giving him a bit of the once over, just to make sure he hasn't picked up any foreign matter.
Barney being groomed by the alpha female precious. I think he has her approval.
This is Mika playing with her plate. Hopefully she won't destroy it too much.
Looks like Mika actually heard that, and you can see her turn around and say, well, what are you going to do about it? Here we have Casey. He's an expat with a really lovely nature. He's got a slight problem with one of his tear ducts, so he gets a little bit of a build-up of like sleep in his eye, and he's got to be so trusting that he actually lets us clean his eye. So this is Laura just going through and doing his cleaning. It sometimes gets cleaned 3 times a day, but you can just see how trusting and patient he is. He sort of lets us do it. In some ways I think he actually enjoys getting it done, enjoys the attention from everybody. Well, as you can see, it's not all fun and games. This is cabbages that we have to sort out and chop off all the rotting leaves. And you can imagine how rotting cabbage leaves smells. But of course, having some fantastic dedicated volunteers helping, preparing the food for the day. This is sort of cleaning up the cabbages and getting them ready to be cut up to put into the bowls later on for the monkeys.
We had very big when I arrived, like a month ago. They were huge.
But I think all the vegetables and fruits very small. Maybe need more water.
Right. There's not enough rain.
Yes.
Just a quick shot of little Gimli doing a heck of a lot better, really settling in now and sort of coming out of himself. Well, we're having a little bit of rain, and it's nice to see the monkeys taking advantage of some of the shelters that have been built for them, with the help of some of the volunteers and local staff. So monkeys have got a little place to stay dry and watch what's actually going on.
Rump creation, Jason.
Jason making a little ramp for some of the monkeys. Sometimes they can't climb up either the geriatrics or some of the blind monkeys, so he's making them a little runway to climb up and down inside their cage. Back over to Barney now that we know where he is. Basically very popular with a lot of the females and juveniles, but always takes his opportunity to run away and go find his mom. Mom is a little bit lower ranking, so she does get a little bit scared of all the other monkeys, so that's why she keeps on avoiding them. But eventually does get hold of her, and she picks him up and takes him away. But as you can see, he has got quite a bit of a entourage trying to groom him and being part of the whole family. So he's settling in very well and coming on very nicely and doing very well at the moment in the troop. It's also important for him to start socializing with juveniles. A lot of the times the monkeys start leaving the close proximity of their mother after 3 months of age, and of course he's slightly older than that, so he should be messing around with some of the others and playing with them. You can see them going through his tail or holding his tail. That will also stop him running away, but as soon as he gets opportunity he moves off and looks for mom again.
Time for Maddie to go to Coco. Let's check your trapping skills.
It's just gonna jump in.
I know, right? I'm ready. Let's get a last drink.
Watch little Turk on the top of the fence there. He sees that Jason's up to no good, so he's slowly making his way down to go and protect his friend and hopefully to scare and chase Jason away.
Careful, he's got really big teeth, Jason. Oh yeah, that one does though.
Yeah, just grab him. It's alright.
Turk.
It's a turkey, tell him.
Turk is gonna kick your ass.
One Matty J.
You're going to go together in a group. She already has a mom. It's better with him? Yeah. Maybe your rep is better because. Yeah. And Maddie always for. Yeah.
So we're back at Coco. This is Dobby and Carla's old cage. But they're not on the trip, so the foster home cage is free. It's Maddie Jr.'s turn.
Look at this one too.
So first time coming down here, meeting the troop.
Maybe Maddie and Dobby play together. I hope so.
And are you sitting with him?
Yeah, Jason's staying here.
Don't let him out just yet. Let me get this back for you. Tragic. Box over here.
Yummy food.
Doing this bottle in the.
So if you could set the blanket on the ground and set the food plate on top, just to keep it clean for the first day. Sorry, what did you ask me?
Do you want the bottle in the feeding tube?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's not gonna fit.
Nope. Wait, give me.
Okay. Release the beast.
It is.
Can't wait to get out. Yes, straight for the food. Standard.
Matty already making friends with some of the juveniles in the troop, so he is doing very well. They're also showing quite a lot of interest in him, so hopefully things should go pretty easily where this integration is concerned. Well, he's got like a whole lot interested in him, trying to touch him and get him closer and groom him and things like that. So I think he's really going to have a great time. There's one way of getting you closer, just grab your hair and pull you, but seems like things are going very well here.
So we're down at Skunkey Troop, And here's Button and Renee. Mommy Martha. Renee's the squealer because she thinks I'm coming with seeds. We've got Changuito here on the right. And we've got... Oh, it's very protective. And we've got Malawi. And over on the left is Reggae. So release day tomorrow. These guys are not old enough to go into the troop, which is super exciting as it's the first time orphans have been released into Skunkey Troop. So what that means is that we have to put some feeding cages into the enclosure. So this morning I have to choose the spots. There's going to be 4 feeding cages in, just as it's the first year, just to be careful. So we always put one beside the intro cage, as it's an area they're familiar with, and as it's the top corner, the trooper usually sitting up at this side, because that's where the food first appears when it comes down. So it's important to have one up there. So really try to aim for each corner. It's kind of squarish, more of a pentagon shape, this enclosure. But as you can see, maybe might be a little difficult. The electrified part actually goes quite far down, so the diamond mesh at the bottom is quite low, which makes it a little tricky to get a feeding cage in, as it'll be touching the electric fence. Well, we have a couple of ways to get around that, so I'm just going to pick some spots where it looks like we've got a bit more fence to work with. So intro cage is up there. I think there's going to be one here. I think this is a nice spot. The fence is as high as it is anywhere. Then in the far corner there, or along this bottom fence, we'll put one, and then on the other side we'll put one up there, covering all bases. And then we put bottles into each cage at the start, and then we'll start to see which ones they actually favor. You'll probably find that they drink from 1 or 2 of them mostly, and then we can start to reduce the amount of bottles in the other cages so that we're not wasting milk. So a bit of trial and error with the new enclosure. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Here's Pixie and Jake of our long-term Skunkey intro cage residents. They just got this nice new double cage, a bit more space as they were in this smaller one here, but as some monkeys moved out, we were able to move them to a nice big cage. So yeah, I'm going to mark the spots where the feeding cages are going to go, and then we'll install them later today.
Well, the big day is upon us for Renee and Button. Seems like the troop already knows. They're all excited, standing outside and calling, and so I think they know what's going on. This is Paradise, the alpha female of the Skunkey Troop entering.
We're down at Skunkey Troop with orphans Renee and Button. Martha and alpha female Paradise are just getting ready to take them out into the troop, and it's the very first time that we've actually run the foster mum program down at Skunkey, so we're quite excited for the day, and we'll see what lies ahead. So Button's holding on tightly to Martha. Martha's giving Paradise a bit of a groom. We can't see Renee at the moment, but there is a tail there. Martha's out with one of the babies. So Martha's out with Renee. We're just waiting for Mags to go out with Button now. So Mags is gone out and taken Button with her into the Skunkey Troop for the first time.
Nothing for the first. We'll turn so everybody can see different parts and even follow as well at some point.
Can you still see them? In the bush. Pan. So we've got Button with is with Pan at the moment. When they first went out, Mags took Button out, and then Pan was grooming Mags, and Pan decided to still Button, and she's been with him ever since.
So this is Renee.
If you're wondering what the purple dye is, it's so that we can see which little baby has gone out, and it's easier to monitor them. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please watch out for our memberships. Do subscribe, and those that can donate, please try help where you can. Till next week, we'll see you all then. Thank you.